Hi, my name is Ihima Monticello, and this is my interactive assessment. If y'all want to have your psychology books out with me so you're able to see the same figures as I see, or if you just want to listen, that's excellent as well. I am currently on page 69, and I will be talking about the stability and change. So what I thought was interesting from this paragraph, or the first paragraph, was that when he went to the 40-year college reunion, he did not recognize his ex-wife. And I just think it's crazy because when you sit down and think about it, really, you could be talking to, for example, your lab partner now, and you just assume they'll look the same down the road in a few years, but let's say you do run into them again, you're not going to be able to recognize them. Simply because they will have a different personality, the way they dress is very different than what you were used to. I just think it's crazy because this was someone he supposedly knew, his ex-wife, and it just turns out that he didn't really know his ex-wife. So yeah. I'm currently on page 74 looking at figure 3.6. So with this study, I remember seeing it a few years ago in my psychology course in high school, that by birth we typically look for something that's warm and that will nurture us, so to speak, and we look for a face around the newborn time and older. We basically look for comfort, and with the plugs, I would say, babies tend to look at the left image more than the right image because it reminded them of a face, so 2 eyes and a mouth. What I also didn't know was that with identical twins, yes, they come from one egg and then they eventually split, but it has to be the same sex only. I could either be misinterpreting that, but that's what I got from it. And on page 76, figure 3.8, it was the rat experiment. So the rat that was basically in the impoverished environment, exposed to nothing, had a impoverished brain cell. And the rat that was in the enriched environment had a rich brain cell. So my take on this was that, what if you change it to a college student that was studying hours on end, but in a apartment building, for example, and they're just basically exposed to their study room, and they're just constantly studying, no socialization whatsoever. Will they have a similar result to the impoverished rat compared to a student that is in an enriched environment? My next topic I want to talk about is on page 83, figure 3.12. Again, I saw this same experiment, the Harlow's Mothers experiment, in my psychology course in high school about a year ago, and I just remember being so sad because it's baby monkeys, and who would do that to baby monkeys? But what was crazy was that even though that there was one part in the video where the monkey held on to the fake monkey that had cloth over it, but had no bottle to feed himself with, and he would not detach himself from that monkey even though he knew that the monkey with no cloth had the food. He'd rather starve himself than separate himself from warmth. What I'm getting at, that the monkeys in those experiments had a lot of psychological trauma. Yeah. So with social development, I always figured babies were just cautious around strangers. I just didn't know the proper term for it, and it's called stranger anxiety. So with stranger anxiety, children become familiar with faces and voices that they're always surrounded with. So when, for example, if I were to walk up to my friend and go to carry her baby, and the baby, since I'm not surrounded by it constantly, it won't recognize me and it will just, shy away, simply because facial recognition does not match anyone that the child knows. Alright, y'all, this is it for my interactive video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.